Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you joining us for the Nuance Healthcare webinar, 3 Ways to Speed Documentation, How I Shortened My Workday by 90 Minutes, featuring Justin Hubbard for Nuance Communications and Brian Levine, CCRM, New York. Just a few housekeeping items I want to go over before we get started. All attendees have been automatically placed on mute. Today's presentation is being recorded, and a link to that recording will be provided to you via email, typically within 24 to 48 hours after the close of the session. If you have a question, you can submit it at any time using the chat or Q&A panel. You should see that on the right-hand side of your screen within the WebEx interface. Due to the limited nature of this presentation, we won't be able to answer your questions during this time. However, a member of our team will reach out to you post-event. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce today's speakers. Justin Hubbard, MD, is currently the Director of Product Management at Nuance Communications. He received his undergraduate degree from Emory University in Computer Science in 2003. After maintaining research databases for the Division of Pediatric Pulmonology at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill for 2 years, he returned to medical school. He graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill School of Medicine in 2010. In addition, Justin was a clinical informatics fellow with the division and graduated from Harvard Medical Schools with a master's in biomedical informatics with a concentration in clinical informatics in 2012. Brian Levine, MD, is the founding partner and practice director of CCRM New York. He is a board-eligible reproductive endocrinology and infertility specialist and is board-certified in obstetrics and gynecology. Dr. Levine attended New York University School of Medicine, where he currently serves as a member of NYU's Board of Trustees. He completed his residency in obstetrics and gynecology at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University Medical Center, and then completed his fellowship in reproductive endocrinology and infertility at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Weill Cornell Medical College. All right, and with that mouthful, I'm going to turn things over to Justin.
Sure. So Justin Hubbard, again, I'm an MD that became frustrated with the IT tools available to physicians and transitioned into the more informatics side of medicine. In my role at Nuance, I'm fortunate that I get to oversee the creation of new tools that return physicians back to where they were trained and what they love to do, which is care for patients. So Nuance embraced the cloud nearly 5 years ago, and Dragon Medical One is built off all those years of experience improving voice-driven clinical documentation solutions and expanding our ecosystem of connected applications. These voice-driven clinical documentation solutions share a single voice profile to ensure continuity across all platforms, devices, and workflows. So for Dragon Medical One, it's all about portability, personalization, access, insights, and compatibility. For Dragon Medical One is a secure-based platform, cloud-based platform that provides a single voice profile, allowing you to dictate into any electronic health record and a growing list of mobile productivity apps. It becomes our cornerstone or next-generation clinical voice-driven platform delivered through the cloud and is made up of 5 core components. So what you see thus far is the Dragon Medical desktop application. This is our cloud evolution of our on-premise solutions such as Practice Edition and Network Edition. However, all our speech recognition is completed in the cloud instead of on the local computer. Next, we introduced this concept of the Nuance Healthcare ID, which provides access beyond the EHR, such as secure text messaging. We also introduced Dragon Medical Analytics, so your administrative staff have access to the data they need to make informed decisions regarding usage or the level of usage itself. And then lastly, we introduced a set of compatible cloud-based workflow enhancements developed by Nuance and some of our partners. So if you want to go to the next slide. So Dragon Medical One desktop application delivers voice recognition through a lightweight desktop application that is compatible with all leading EHRs. It was designed with, again, simplicity in mind. It provides a secure, accurate, portable, cloud-based recognition across a wide range of Windows devices. So important attributes of this is that it's always available. It's designed for speed, accuracy, flexibility, and can be accessed across multiple devices. So if you install Dragon Medical One on multiple computers, you'll have access to that same voice profile across them when you log in. No speech training is required. So this uses advanced artificial intelligence to figure out the type of accent that you have, automatic microphone calibration, and the profile continues to adapt and improve over time as you refine your clinical note, whether that's via typing or your voice. It's very easy to maintain and install. So 50 megabyte installation size, we don't require complex configurations, and we have multiple ways of installing. So for those individuals looking for the easiest way to do this, we have a click once auto-updating installation package, which means that when new versions of the application come out, we auto-update for you. This also means that because everything is stored in the cloud, you don't have to worry about shutting down as quickly. You will run into zero profile corruptions. And the last component of this is the healthcare compliant. For those data nerds that are out there, we provide a 256-bit encryption with TLS protocols and end-to-end security. Next slide. So lastly, as I mentioned, we have these clinical documentation workflow enhancements. These are Dragon Medical Advisor, which allows you to provide documentation improvement advice, our Dragon Medical Power Pack, which is templates, clinical calculators, etc., our PowerMic mobile application, which is a software version of our PowerMic hardware device on your iPhone or Android device. We have Dragon Medical embedded in some of our premium EHR applications, such as Meditech and Athena Health. And we also are compatible with our Nuance clinical language understanding embedded products, again, in our premium EHR application. So with that short synopsis of what Dragon Medical is, I'm excited to have Dr. Levine describe how Dragon Medical One has shortened his workday.
Well, thank you for that very nice introduction. And I think, Justin, you left out the most important thing, which is that of all the Dragon products that I've ever had experience with, and I've been using Dragon Medical products for probably about 9 years now, this one adheres to KISS. It keeps it simple, and, well, you know what the last S is. I find that Dragon is how I function every day. Without Dragon, I think that I could not be as efficient as a physician as I am. And there's a difference between efficiency and efficacy, and I think that it makes me not only efficient, but makes me a more effective physician. So what I'm going to touch on today are three key things. One is the power of the cloud, the technology, and the features. Next slide. So the first thing is the cloud, right? I am not tied to a workstation. I am a reproductive endocrinologist, which means I do infertility work. I might be at my desk. I might be in the hospital. I might be seeing a consult in the emergency room for someone with a torsion or ectopic pregnancy. I might be in the operating room dictating my chart. I might be anywhere. What it means is that I'm not tied to my workstation to still have the same power of using all my Dragon tools. So previously I had to be, quote, on the network or on the grid to use my Dragon Medical Network Edition. Now with the power of the cloud, I have a light installation, it's all in the background, and I can actually just use my iPhone provided I'm on the same Wi-Fi network. I can use my phone like my PowerMic, or I can bring my PowerMic with me with my laptop. The other thing is I don't worry about, the computer or the guts of what I'm using the computer anymore. I've become almost agnostic to the device. Because it kind of all happens behind the scenes, I don't care if I'm using, a basic PC or if I'm using, a thin client or if I'm using a full-on desktop computer. Next slide. The truth is, I'm a loyal person, and I get really comfortable with habits, which is why when I train doctors on how to use Dragon, I always say, make your shortcuts logical, because you want to make them things that you're going to use every day. Don't say Dragon Shortcut 1 or Dragon Shortcut 2. So before I got on this call, I inserted a note that said hysteroscopic resection, and then my entire hysteroscopic resection note comes up. Or I said, brief male history, because I reviewed a partner's history. And the reason is that Dragon Medical 1 has the same touch and feel and features as the previous Dragon Medical products. Right? Like I'm totally comfortable, and migration for me was simple. It's just more powerful. I can literally just do more with Dragon Medical 1. I can literally dictate on the fly. As I say to people, it's literally so good that even when you pick the wrong thing, like it says that I'm a cardiologist instead of OBGYN, it still works, right? Like it still knows who I am, and it still works the right way. The thing about Dragon and the secret sauce of their technology is that as someone who does a lot of surgery, I never understood the logic behind sitting in a little dark corner, speaking into a telephone, letting that speech transcription go off to India, wherever it goes, and then being sent a report about what I said a week later and then being asked to sign it. Instead, the same simple feature of Dragon that has always drawn me to Dragon is still there. What I say is what I see on the screen, and what I see on the screen is what I submit to the patient's record. Plain and simple. And that's what matters the most. I think, in the end of the day, that's the technology. It's fast and it's seamless. Next slide. So, what are the features that I use? So, to see the volume of patients that I see and to practice the diversity of the practice that I do, I have to have a lot of little shortcuts. And taking shortcuts is not a bad thing as long as they make you, accurate. So I have templates, which I use, for my histories, where I just get to tab through the Power Mic. I have short text, when I consent the patient. I'm pretty predictable, so I do it always the same way. I program my microphone for the buttons that I need, right? So that great feature is still all there. And I just save time for everything. I'll say ultrasound note, and all of a sudden it'll pull up my ultrasound note. We use in my office GE Centricity, which is, as you know, a big box electronic health record. In the hospital, we use the Allscripts product of Sunrise. We use it there. And Dragon doesn't really care. Wherever I point and wherever I dictate, it just goes. Someone asked me once to figure out how much time I'm saving a day. So I figured that I save somewhere around 2 to 3 minutes per operative note, and I might do 10 procedures in a day. Or I probably save about 15 minutes per consult note, because I can literally read someone's records and dictate directly into the chart. So I estimate that I'm saving somewhere around 90 minutes a day of typing time. It's not that I'm a slow typer. It's just that I can literally have charts in my hand and just dictate directly into the chart. And that's real money, right? Like an hour and a half a day, I can see more patients. Or I can get home to go out to dinner with my wife. Or I can make it to the theater on time. Or I'm not stuck in the office on a Saturday, catching up on documentation. So for me, Dragon is a highly effective tool in my armamentarium of how I treat patients efficiently. Next slide. So, I think you should go online and you should click to see how Dragon works. It's simple. I'd love to tell you it's more complicated than what we're talking about, but it really is simple. They removed the training, which makes it phenomenal. Right? My old Dragon Medical products, I used to have to do that, reading of the pros to improve it, and that was fine, and it would get better with every time you used it. But this one, out of the box, has been phenomenal. And of course, you can always, schedule a briefing, or I hope what you do is schedule right now some questions with me. And so I think we're going to open up the Q&A pretty soon, and then we can always follow up with you from there. Just so everyone knows, I don't actually work for Nuance. I am truly a practicing doctor, so if you really want to know what it's like to use Dragon in your practice, I'm always more than happy to answer that offline as well. Thank you.
Wonderful, Dr. Levine and Justin, thank you so much for giving us just a little brief insight into your daily use with Dragon Medical. And as Dr. Levine so eloquently put it, certainly the next steps are we invite you to have a conversation with us to learn more about how other clinicians, such as Dr. Levine, are spending less time documenting their patient notes by using our Dragon Medical One solution. Schedule a briefing, contact your Nuance account executive, or reach out to your partner or valued added reseller that you're working with today. Thank you so much for spending valuable time with us today. That's going to end our presentation. As I mentioned, the presentation was recorded, and we will get that recording out to you as quickly as possible. Thank you again so much for your time, and that ends our presentation.